Doug Holtz-Eakin, former director of the Congressional Budget Office, president of American Action Forum, with me now. And, sir, good morning to you. And happy
good morning.
New Year. We say happy in asterisk here.
Yeah.
Now comes the hard part, right?
Yes.
What is the hard part, Doug?
Well, what we saw last night was passing tax increases, continuing spending programs, and putting off any spending cuts. So that leaves the debt unaddressed, and the only way to address the debt is to have serious reforms to our entitlement programs. The Medicares, Medicaids, and Social Securities that are bleeding red ink and actually will collapse under their own financial weight, which is a huge disservice to the elderly and the poor.
So you're saying they took the easy way out? I mean, you know, tax the rich. Don't go for any cuts in spending. I think it was for every $40 of tax, it was $1 of spending. Is that what it comes out to?
Yeah, I mean, it really was the easy way out. I mean, they should get one cheer for not causing a recession. It would have been a disgrace to have a self-inflicted recession and imposed a great harm on Americans. But this didn't address the great challenge of our time, which is the debt. Our debt's larger than our economy. It's costing us 1 million jobs at present. We're growing a percentage point more slowly. And we need an aggressive strategy, which is about cutting spending to address that debt.
Tell me what you believe would have been the best possible outcome.
Well, I never thought that we'd get a large agreement on the debt in such a short time period as the lame duck. So for me, the best would have been no tax increases, replace the sequester with some more sensible long-run cuts, and come up with a framework for this debt reduction. The tax reforms and the entitlement reforms can be done this year, but a framework for how big they would have been the upper bound of what we could have gotten. We didn't even come close to that.
Not even close. You wonder how hopeful you can be for the next round of negotiations. Here is Dave Camp a moment ago, I believe, member of Congress on the floor of the House addressing the overhaul here. Roll this and listen to it.
But let me just say that we not only need to grow the economy, but we also need to address the fundamental causes of our debts and deficits, and that's out-of-control spending, obligations that we have not got the financial wherewithal to meet. We need to strengthen those programs and make sure that they're sustainable for the long term, but we also need to address the problem that is out-of-control spending.
So now, you wish that would spread like a good disease in Washington, but it hasn't. But Dave Camp's a Republican from Michigan. He made those comments late last night. Go ahead, Doug.
Well, I think he has it exactly right. Take Medicare. Right now, the gap between premiums and payroll taxes going in and spending coming out is $300 billion, and we have 10,000 new beneficiaries every day. That program is responsible by itself for a quarter of all the federal debt that we've had in the past decade, and it's going to fall apart if we don't fix it. So it is important to seniors to fix it. It's important to the budget to get it under control, and it's a danger to our economy and the next generation to leave it the way it is.
Well, what you're arguing is that 2013, the agenda has to be this, a big deal on the current and future debt.
No question about it.
Do you see that, I mean, do these leaders, whether it's the House, the Senate, and the White House, do they have the guts now to do this?
Well, Bill, that remains to be seen. You know, the ball's in the president's court. He's going to have a State of the Union. He's going to have a budget that he has to put out. His previous budgets have been tremendous disappointments on this front. He has the opportunity to put out a budget that contains the entitlement reforms and the tax reforms that would lead to a more prosperous and responsible future. We'll see.
Do you think the Republicans played the only hand they had to play on this deal?
They certainly did the best they could in bad circumstances, and I think getting a deal and avoiding recession is a victory that should be recognized. Getting some permanence to the tax code is a victory that should be recognized. But as I said, this is far from a slam dunk. We have a lot of work left to do, and quite frankly, Democrats control the White House and the Senate, and they need to do some of that work.
It's amazing through all this debate on this latest issue that no one talked about how this could affect jobs. Put people back to work. Wasn't that what the campaign was all about?
There is no substitute for better growth. We are really just sort of ambling along at an incredibly slow pace. So, you know, this should be about getting the debt load off the economy, growing more rapidly, and putting people back to work.
Good luck with that. Thank you, Doug. We're waiting for it. Doug Holtz-Eakin, thank you. Happy New Year to you, all right?
All right, thanks.
Out of Washington.